Yo, what's up guys? A real quick video on my thoughts on the map. So one thing in particular that I'm not a fan of personally that we've done is the Golbez with the bow tie in slot 1. The reason why I'm not a fan of this personally is because his buff that gives him the 30 defense and the 30 spirit is almost useless when we hamper his movement by that much. And what I mean by that is if he starts down here, can only move 2 squares at a time. So that buff is going to start when the match starts. So that's essentially turn 1. So he'll move, that's 1 turn. When he moves again, that's 2 turns, and then when he moves again, that's 3 turns. That passive of 30 defense and 30 spirit is gone by the time he's right here. And quite honestly, the fight still goes on for like what 2 to 3 more turns after this. That passive by gimping his movement is almost useless for when the actual like fighting occurs. So I don't like the amount of which we lower his overall speed. I know we do that so that he can make sure he doesn't get baited and that he can use his barrier properly, but I don't think that's an efficient way to do it considering the passive we have on him. The second thing is because we do put the bow tie on him, and Dwayne, some of us had his hate on, some of us didn't. The other day we had Veneris, we had no hate. But by putting the bow tie down here, you essentially make the enemies all go this way, right? Well, this is not where we want to fight with Black Rosalina and Golbez. You want to fight right here, where all that nice flat land is, and where a lot of these areas are at least 1 height away from each other. And if we're looking at their abilities, hold on a second here. Because if we're looking at their abilities, this is Black Rosalina. Um, she does have a couple abilities that have range height of 2. So Black Rose's Hex is one of them, where sure she can hit enemies, and there can be some heights of 2 there. But the rest of them, if we're looking at Devastation, this was one of them, but it's a smaller AOE. But if we're looking at her Limit Break and Dark Red, this is range height 1, AOE height 1. If you're looking at level 3 Dark Red, that's range height of 5, but the AOE height's still 1, so you can't be more than heights of 2. So overall, you want to stay in that AoE height of 1 for her. And the same can be said for Golbez, that if you're looking at Fang of Despair here, it's AoE height of 1. If you're looking at, what's the other one? Abyssal Kazar, it's AoE height of 1. You're looking at his Limit Break, it's AoE height of 1. The bottom line is that we're fighting in an area of the map where you're getting other ranges of heights, and there's other areas of the map where you simply can't walk. So you start getting into problems pathing wise, in my opinion, of where people can end up going, and overall just not a good idea, where instead what we should be trying to do is bait enemies toward the middle here, have Black Rosalina start using that AoE, the same thing for Golbez right in that same area, and really try to make the team fight happen as quick as possible. The longer these fights go on, the crappier Dark gets. That's kind of like just the nature of the Dark cast. So we got to be faster in terms of killing things. So Keen Blade is obviously a strong idea for a handful of reasons, but really, mobility in general is a good one. So yes, it's nice to have the Black Rosalina TMR for the shields, but you also want to make sure that she has the mobility to move. Same can be said for Dwayne with move +1. Same thing can be said for Golbez with making sure that he has the proper move as well. So that's things in a nutshell. Hopefully that makes sense, and I'll talk to you guys soon.